Hello, I'm the BIOS chemist and I've got an experiment. I'm combing through the entire PS1 catalog, trying to find the classics, the flops, and everything in between. Today we're looking at a hidden gem that is close to my heart, the kart racer Speedpunks. Stay tuned to learn about one of the game's creators and how you can help me decide one of the games we look at next. But first, we start where all games start, the cover art. 30 seconds, go. Okay, the logo is really cool. I love the font and how it looks speedy. Usually not a fan of gradients, but the yellow, red, orange is solid stuff. We see 3 of the game's characters here, with red-haired Tempest leading the pack. He looks good in my opinion. The other 2 are... yeah, they have the PS1 jank that's common from the era. I'm disappointed that the background's colors are a bit cooler and washed because it doesn't convey how colorful the game is.
Phew! That was close!
It's an alright cover. How's the Japanese cover look? Ah, this game was released in the East, huh? Well, here we have Speedpunks, developed by Funcom Dublin. Also known as Speed Freaks in Europe, it was released in North America in 2000 in the wake of giant kart racing titles like Crash Team Racing and, of course, Mario Kart 64. In a genre that was quickly becoming oversaturated, Speedpunks ended up falling by the wayside and not leaving a lasting impact despite actually being quite unique, which is a shame because it actually hold very close to my heart. This was one of the few games my family would all come together and play when I was a little kid, so I'll try to talk about this with as little bias as possible, but some might inevitably leak through. Let's look at the graphics first. Being a later PS1 game, this looks really solid. The first thing you notice is how colorful this game is. Each course is eye-catching, with the first track you encounter being a seaside racetrack with a roaring crowd, waterfalls, windmills, and a pirate ship. What you might also notice is the lack of fog in this game, something even the great Mario Kart 64 had. The draw distance is very solid with little poppin', an impressive feat I'm sure was only made possible by the smart level design. The tracks are all fairly curvy and windy, and the game often uses large balls that fit the scenery to limit your line of sight, taxing the system less. This type of level design allowed Funcom to fully utilize the hardware's capabilities. The game also runs really smoothly as well, which really helps put the speed into Speedpunks. There are 6 of the eponymous racers that you can choose from at the start, with 3 additional unlockable characters. My favorite character being the first of said unlockables, Cosworth the dog. Each character has Rayman disorder, where all of their limbs are missing. They're just hovering heads, hands, feet, and torsos. In fact, even their carts have been afflicted with this Rayman ailment as well, being just tires and a steering wheel. Personally, this is a wicked charming look. I'm sure it helped save on some graphical resources a bit as well. In order to unlock each character, you must compete in a tournament which comprises of 4 races and come in first place in each race. This unlocks the opportunity to have a one-on-one race with the unlockable character. Speedpunks has 3 tournaments, amounting to a total of 12 tracks in the main game. There are also time attack and versus modes, but tournament is really the meat of the game, I think. So this game has some pretty unique driving mechanics. They went for a more floaty feeling game that still has some weight to it. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Think of like driving with moon physics maybe, I don't know. But this was done by design. The responsive controls and the tracks really were tailored to work with these mechanics. In fact, the limbless kids in carts actually add to how it handles, I think, adding a sort of bounciness to them while they drive. That being said, it is a big learning curve if you're used to the more popular kart racers that do have super tight controls typically. I've shown Speedpunks to some friends and they just couldn't get used to it. To me though, it's something that helps it stick out from the crowd. So while you're driving, you'll get the standard items you find in Mario Kart. A lock-on missile, a missile you have to aim, speed boost, invincibility, a weapon that takes out everybody on the track, the banana peel, you know what I'm talking about. The one kind of unique item, I think, is the bullets, but they kind of stink. You have to aim at a target that appears around the enemy and then fire, hitting 3 or 4 times in order to inflict damage. The damage you do isn't really worth it. What is a fun addition, though, is how you get the speed boosts. You collect these tokens that are strewn out all over the track, and you get to use them whenever you want. You can burn them as you collect them, or save up to use them all at once, which results in this nice, big, satisfying burst coming out from your cart. I think having the 2 types of useful pickups adds a nice dynamic to this game.
Yes, I made it! Yeah!
And for the 3rd straight game in this series, we've got some awesome music here too. Listen to some of this. something about racing games from this era, man. Each one of them, from this to Wipeout to Gran Turismo, really knew how to hype up the player. They all had some rockin', techno, house, dance music that was really inspired. Another aspect of this game that it really nails. There aren't really many negatives that I can say for Speedpunks. There are only 12 tracks for the main mode, which may be too few for some, but I'd rather that than 24 rough or uninspired tracks. As I said before, the game's controls could certainly deter people. One thing that really did annoy me upon replaying this game, though, was the rubber banding. Yes, it's necessary to a degree with these types of racing games, so that they stay intense even if you're pretty great at the game, but it really shouldn't be something that I notice. It should be integrated seamlessly. What I did notice was that whenever I had a good lead, the person in second place specifically would get all of the good power-ups. Whenever the attack came that was supposed to hit everybody, it would always be the second place guy who would remain unscathed, still chugging along on the map, trying to close the gap between me and him. Annoying, as I said, but not insurmountable. Alright, now it's the part of the show where we look at the credits, pick a name, and see where they are now. Today's name is Padraig Crowley. I think it's an Irish name, and I hope I'm saying it correct. Mr. Crowley was one of the producers of this game, and I was actually able to find his current LinkedIn page. He got a bachelor's in computer science from the University of College Cork in the early 90s. He started with a different racing game first, called Impact Racing for the PS1, before leading the Speedpunks team.
There I am, Gary, there I am!
According to his resume, it said that Speedpunks actually sold 500,000 copies worldwide, which is a pretty impressive number to me. He'd later go on to be the project manager for a lot of licensed games, like Batman Begins,
This is messed up.
G-Force,
A guest come to visit. Leaving so soon? Darwin, I do think it is time we met. Face to face.
and Disney Universe.
Our Castbox will transport you on a journey into the Disney world of your dreams. The bots are completely safe. They couldn't hurt you even if they wanted to.
Today he works for a game company called Miniclip, the same Miniclip, I think, that was a host of Flash games way back in the day. Upon further digging, I actually found that there was a Speedpunks 2 in development at one point, but ultimately it never saw the light of day. There are a couple of videos floating around online showing a couple of levels from the prototype, though they are pretty poor quality. Anyway, that wraps it up for game number 3.
Ow! Stop that! So long.
Up next, because the NBA Finals are upon us, I decided let's do NBA Jam Extreme. Remember, I need your help deciding Game 6. We have in the comments below a link to a straw poll where you can vote for 3 randomly selected games. These 3 were Army Men, Green Rogue, Superstar Dance Club #1 Hits, FIFA Soccer 97. Or, if you don't like any of those, you can vote random. We'll pick another random game. Mwah. Hope you have a good night. Adios.